Hey, what's up? So, just coming back at you with another sales call breakdown. So, the backstory behind this one is I actually don't know this guy, Cameron. He's part of the same Discord community as me from my original SMMA mentor, Kieran. So, big shout out to Kieran, by the way, Kieran Rawson. If you guys haven't checked him out, he's a fucking G. He's fucking good at what he does as well. So, definitely check out his channel. But in terms of what we're about to do here, again, I haven't really met Cameron before. Just messaged him on Discord to say that I'd do some free breakdown for him because he's quite new to SMMA and new to sales. And yeah, just give some free value. So if anybody else wants their sales call broken down and some feedback from me, feel free to get in touch with me directly through Instagram. I'm more than happy to help wherever I can. But yeah, let's jump into the call now.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
What's up, Steven? How you doing?
Hey, sorry about that. I thought it was a phone call. I didn't notice it was.
Oh no, you're good. I mean, it basically is a phone call, but just face-to-face phone call.
Right.
What's that? How you doing, man?
All right. I was outside changing fuel pump on a pickup.
Yeah. You get any work done today?
Just working on vehicles today.
You do vehicles too?
Yeah, that's what I went to school for.
For real? You like that better?
No.
All right, man. So you said you're calling out of Colorado Springs, right? Colorado Springs, right?
Right.
How long you
right.
been there?
So I used to live here in 2016 until 2019, and then I moved away. But this time I've only been up here.
I wouldn't bother asking a question like this. It's not really relevant to anything. What I typically would do in the first sort of 60 seconds is ask like kind of the time constraints. So whether or not they have 30 minutes as a hard stop or if they've got an hour or whatever the case is. Sometimes if you know they have a business partner, then ask them if there's anybody else joining the call and then jump straight into the upfront contract from there.
Here for going on almost a month.
Yeah, you said you were about 3 weeks in when I talked to you. I just asked that because I've been up in Denver a lot, family in Denver, so I've been up there a lot. Yeah, it's cold right now, ain't it?
Yeah, it's cold out. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So basically,
Cool. Like that's not bad rapport building by any means, by the way. It's just it's sort of dragged on a little bit longer than it needed to. Rapport building, honestly, there's no real need for the chit chat at the start of the call. In my opinion, you should just be jumping straight into it. Within maybe like the first 30 to 60 seconds, you want to flesh out the time constraint if there is one. If anybody else is joining the call, maybe have a little bit of chit chat and then go straight into the upfront contract from there, which I think you're about to do now anyway.
so we'll get right into it. Basically, the way it's going to work is I'm just going to ask you a few questions. I know we talked over the phone and texted a little bit, but I'm going to ask a few questions, really like get a full understanding of business, what you're doing right now, and your goals, right? And then like basically the gap in between your current and your goals. And then I'll basically show you our system, what exactly we do, how we do it, and how we get you results.
Okay.
And then if you like what you see, we can get started on it. Talk about next steps if that's something you want to do. Sound good?
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a very, very good example of what an upfront contract could look like as well. So for those of you who've seen my example before, some feedback that I've been given is mine is a little bit wordy and sometimes people can forget the word track. So what this guy Cameron here has done is a very good casual way of doing it. It still achieves all of the same goals as positioning the call is supposed to, right? So he's basically told the client here or the prospect what the goal of the call is, what's going to happen if there's a good fit, and then what the next step looks like from there. And that's pretty much the only idea behind what you're trying to do when you start by positioning the call. And then from here, I'd imagine Cameron's going to jump straight into revealing the current state.
All right, man. So basically the first question I have to ask, if you see me looking to the right, because I'm probably writing stuff down, I have a bunch of information on you. I'm writing down, if you see me looking down. But my first question would be like, what's like the biggest challenge you're facing right now that made you want to get on the call?
That's a great first question to ask. So well done.
Well, just being back new to the area and trying to rebuild, customers and all that. It's been slow, and I got a helper that's kind of leaning on me as well, and so it's not just me that's hurting for work, and so I'm just trying to get moving as quickly as possible.
Where were you at before?
Georgia.
How'd you like that? What did it say? It's different, better clientele or what?
No, Georgia. I've never liked Georgia. Just because the the humidity, the bugs, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just it's total different world down there. But
And
I mean,
so,
I stayed pretty busy down there while I was there.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
busier than now.
Well, I mean, I just got up here, so yeah. I mean, it's always slow when you get to a new place.
So when prospects use keywords like busy, you want to get a little bit more detail from them. So what I like to do is demand specificity, right? So when he says something like, I used to be busy, I'll jump in and say, okay, well, what do you mean by busy? Like, and then you want to start quantifying what busy means, because busy is such a vague term. It could mean anything to anyone, right? So when he says busy, and if you ask him to quantify what busy is, as in like how many clients was he seeing per month or per week or whatever the case is, he now has a tangible number, which he's given you, and you can now use that number to keep on anchoring back to later on, right? So if he says he was busy because he was seeing 5 clients a week and that equated to $1,000, now we can use that $1,000 and he might tell you that he's only earning 500 now, and we can now start to build a gap between where he used to be, where he is now, and ultimately where he wants to be moving forward.
And trying to pick up new customers and all that.
So what all do
But
you do? I know you just said you cars, but like what else, what do you mainly?
mainly do make readies, like completely turnkey. I go in and do complete remodels. Go in, gut the bathrooms, gut the kitchens. I mean, new paint, fix all the drywall, put in.
So a question like this, you really should be doing a little bit more research on his website to get a better understanding of what his business does. With discovery, it's all about building pain, okay? And revealing the current state and trying to understand the current situation is of course part of discovery, but we don't want to spend too much time on there. So asking him, like, what do you guys do exactly? That's easily something you could have found out on his website. Then if you wanted to get more information, you could then summarize what you saw on his website, ask him if what you saw was correct, and if it was incorrect, then he would correct you. And if it's not correct, if it is correct, and then you want to expand on that, then you can always say to him, look, I found XYZ on your website. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, and get him to sort of summarize it? Because right now he's going to go on a huge monologue that's not really helpful for you at all from a discovery standpoint. You're trying to just build pain and really, really help him understand that he has an issue. He needs lead generation from your agency, and you're going to be the guy to deliver it.
New cabinets, new countertops, new bathtubs, new sinks, the whole 9 yards. Do everything but carpet.
Okay. How big is your team? Like, are you working with how many people you working with doing it?
Well, right now, I mean, main people, I got me and a helper. But I mean, as soon as the work kicks up, I got 3 other people that I can hire on just immediately.
At your peak, that's what you like have about 3 people that are working with you.
Yeah, I usually keep it under 5 people.
Okay.
Okay, so when he says as soon as work picks up, I've got another 3 people that can help me. Again, this is another key statement that he's saying. So you want to say, okay, what do you mean by when work picks up? Like, how busy do you need to be exactly? And really start getting some tangible numbers from him. Because again, right now he's giving us some very vague terms, which we could hold on to and then drill a little bit deeper into to help him understand that he is not in the position that he wants to be in right now.
And I know you told me that you're doing like a little bit of door knocking, mostly relying on word of mouth, stuff like that. But how's that going?
I mean, we picked up a couple little small jobs.
From the door knocking?
Yeah, picked up a couple little small jobs.
So when he says we picked up a couple of little small jobs, you say, okay, well, how small is small? Okay. And again, make sure that you get definitions out of the prospect here, because we really, really want to bring these numbers to the forefront of his mind. Okay. Door knocking is not easy to do from like a time saving standpoint. It's not very efficient. It's very tedious. It can be quite exhausting as well when you've been doing it all day. So the fact that he's been doing door knocking and he only got a couple of small jobs out of it, we want to bring that to the forefront again of his mind to help him understand that he's putting in a lot of effort with the door knocking, but he's not getting much of return out of it. So there needs to be a more efficient way, which again is going to be done through lead generation.
But nothing major that could, give us a week or 2 of work or nothing like that.
Okay. What about word of mouth as referrals? I know you're.
So when he says, again, nothing major, you then want to say, okay, well, why not? And see if he understands the reason as to why he was not getting major work from door knocking. Ultimately, and I can only assume this, I don't know your niche, I don't really know the intricacies of how it works exactly, but I would imagine if he's doing door knocking, he's only getting small jobs because he's dealing with very low intent prospects that probably don't have any major renovations or whatever it is that your prospect does. They probably don't have anything that they need done straight away, right? So if your prospect was then to use digital marketing or lead generation, he's going to find far higher intent prospects. And again, that's your job to help him understand that.
You're new to the area, so like how are referrals going and stuff like that, word of mouth?
Well, I reached out to some old customers that I knew from last time I was here, and and they were general contractors, from bigger businesses and stuff. And right now they said it's kind of slow
Because of the cold season?
I don't know if it's because I have no idea. I think it's got more of what's going on with Trump and all that. People are kind of scared to spend money right now.
The economy?
Yeah.
So, but do you do decks or do you do mostly inside work?
I do decks as well. Yes.
Yeah, because we mainly.
So when people blame the economy, it's really important for us as business owners to understand what's actually going on in the macroeconomic environment. Now, he used Trump as an example, or rather as an excuse for the reason that his business is not going too great at the moment, right? Now, Trump's been in power for the entire year. So, it sounds like, and again, I guess I don't know this because I don't know whether or not you've had another conversation with him prior to or anything like that. I don't know what the state of his business was prior to what he's doing right now. He said he was busy, but again, we don't really know what busy means. So I would imagine he was busy during the time that Trump was in power, like earlier in the year anyway, right? So is that really a legitimate sort of reason that he has in his mind? Probably not. And so I would challenge the prospect then and say, well, hang on, like Trump's been in power for the better part of the year now, pretty much the entire year. And you apparently were busy earlier in the year. So what really do you think is the reason that you're in the position you're in right now?
They focus on decks, but we have people that do kitchen, bathroom, painting, stuff like that.
Right.
But like you said, you do everything. But in terms of, like you said, new to the area and everything, how many jobs are you doing per month right now with everything going on?
Well, so this is my first month up here. We've done 3 jobs so far.
3 jobs so far over the last 3-4 weeks, basically.
Yeah, I went and bid at another job last week, and it's a complete turn. It's complete. But I won't hear from it until probably sometime this afternoon.
Okay, so you're waiting on that one. And did you get anything? I know you told me you tried like Facebook boosting posts, stuff like that. Did you?
So he said that he's had 3 jobs in the last month. It's your job now to ask him how much money those jobs have equated to, right? Because again, I would imagine these were small jobs. He only probably got paid maybe a few $100s to maybe $1,000 or whatever it was. So we want him to say out loud the fact that he is struggling right now. He's only had 3 jobs, which is a small volume of jobs. Next, we want to understand the value of those small volume of jobs, right? So really, really, again, I know I keep repeating myself, but it's all about bringing the problems to the forefront of the prospect's mind. And that is our job ultimately as salespeople here.
Did you get anything from that?
No, I don't. Facebook is not really my biggest, I don't really get on there much. And so it's not, Craigslist I use, I post on there a lot. But no, I haven't had any hits yet.
Nothing on Craigslist or social media anywhere?
Nothing yet, no.
So another really important point for you to understand is he's very fidgety here, right? You can see his hands, they keep moving around. Every time he looks up at you, he's then looking back down at the ground when he answers questions and stuff like that. He's not very confident in his own ability by the looks of it to run his business, or he's just not really, I guess, in a great spot right now. We can tell just by simply reading his body language. So something that I always tell my mentees in my training and my course and everything else, you need to both listen intently and also watch intently. And that's something that's very good about what we do with remote sales online through Zoom or whatever the case might be, is that we can actually see the prospect's body language. And many times that body language is going to give away a lot more than what they're saying through their verbal cues. So very, very important for you just to understand that right now he's quite nervous. I don't know what the other word is I'm looking for. Not intimidated. I don't think he's intimidated, but he's quite nervous. He's a little bit anxious, probably a better word for it. And again, he knows that he's not in a great spot right now, but it's your job to ask enough questions to make him want to move on this very painful situation that he's in at the moment.
Do you ever try like marketing, any types of like different marketing services, anything like that?
Nuh-uh.
Angie's List, nothing like that?
I've tried. You back in
Home Advisor?
2019, back in 20, yeah, I used Home Advisor.
How'd that go?
I mean, it went good, but man, they reach deep in your pockets.
They do?
I mean,
They charge you, I don't even know what it is. I see a lot of people from there that say they deal with like shared leads. People, you get there and like they've already talked to 5 other people, and so it's like not worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I caught a lot of jobs, but I mean, I was probably paying them $1,500 a month.
$1,500 Angie's?
Yeah, on Home Advisor.
Oh, Home Advisor. Yeah, I didn't even know it was that much. I thought it was like around like 400, 500.
So now when he's saying that he's paying $1,500, you want to ask, okay, well, how much were you actually earning from Home Advisor, right? Because if he was earning, I don't know, like $5,000, for example, and they're taking $1,500, that's a huge chunk out of the money that he was earning, right? And I'd imagine he was probably earning a little bit more than that. But even then, $1,500 is still a huge chunk of money to take on a monthly fee. If you're earning anything less than 10K, it's always going to be quite a high percentage. So really, really important to basically bring that out and ask him that question.
No, they were hitting me pretty heavy.
Yeah, I know it's going slow, but in terms of like your process is like, is it slow because like you think it's what you're doing? Like, is it what you're doing or what you're not doing? Like in terms of door knocking, stuff like that? Or is it just winter season type of like slow in terms of volume?
I just think it just, Thanksgiving holiday and whatnot. I think, for the next 2 weeks or so, I think it'll pick up and it'll get hot, and then it's going to fade out the final 2 weeks of December until after New Year's probably.
Okay, so you definitely could handle
So I wouldn't ask him that question because you basically gave him an option there, right? You pretty much said to him, do you think you're in the position you're in right now because of what you're not doing, or do you think it's because of the time of year or sort of circumstances that are outside of his control? Even if it is the latter, even if it is going to be Thanksgiving time and whatever the fuck, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We want the prospect to think in their mind that it's on them. We in fact, we need them to understand that it's on them ultimately, right? Because again, we're business owners. It's coming up to Christmas very soon, and we still have our monthly targets that we need to hit regardless of Christmas, of New Year's, of anything. So that sort of responsibility and the onus always needs to be on that business owner, that irrespective of the circumstance of what time of the year it is, they still have a revenue number that they need to hit, and they are therefore responsible for it.
a volume increase. Like say you're at like three, 4 jobs a month, you could handle like say we doubled that 8 or 9. You can handle that?
Yeah.
Depending on what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
And from my side, what is like your main what is your main money maker basically to put what is your focus? Like is it decks, is it kitchens, is it remodels, like what is it?
Man, it don't really matter. I mean, I'm happy doing whatever, and
not so much a relevant question to ask right now, to be honest with you. We're just about to move into the point where you need to start asking more pain-related questions because you've got enough of his current state. You understand what the situation is right now. I think right now you're just asking more questions about his situation because the pain question's not. This is not an appropriate time to keep on asking about those questions, right? You're about 9 minutes into the discovery now. Right now, we really should be moving into more pain-related questions and impact-related questions.
As long as I'm working, I'm happy.
Yeah. Only reason I say that is because from our point of view, it's just like marketing-wise, like if you market everything, you try to market everything, you won't hit on nothing. Right. So like us, we lock in on mostly decks because that's what a lot of people say is their moneymaker. And then obviously we broadscape to like landscaping, remodels, kitchen, bathroom. A lot, especially in this time, kitchen and bathroom right now. But decks here, deck still is like the main. I would say like 70% of what we work with. Um, but yeah, I was just asking everything you do. I know you say you do everything, but like top one, two, would you want to focus on remodels, decks?
Yeah, bro, a question like this is something that you would probably ask, I'd say during the onboarding, because at that point he's a client. Now, there is a way that you can ask this during discovery, in a way that you're almost strategically asking the question under the assumption that they're going to sign up with you. I do that myself as well, but that's a far more advanced way of doing discovery. Right now, in the position you're in with this call, he's not even somewhat brought into your services yet, right? Because you haven't really got that far of making him realize that there's a huge problem that he needs to solve. So what you're doing right now is just sort of asking him, hey, like, what do you want to focus on, when it's just not relevant, right? What he focuses on later on, that's for the onboarding team. If you've got a team or if you're going to onboard them later on, you can deal with all of that stuff later. Right now, we need to focus on how much pain is he in and how much is it costing him to not currently hit his goals.
I mean, Dex is, I'm completely fine with that. Dex or painting.
Painting?
Yeah.
All right, man. I mean, everything sounds good. You say you've never worked with other marketers, never tried anything online really, except a little bit of Facebook, a little bit of door knocking. You said the door knocking isn't really doing nothing for you right now. A couple small jobs, you said, right?
Right.
And so, basically, what would be like me and you, like partnership, like say we decided to go, like what would be like the perfect setup for you, like in terms of everything that we would provide for you? What would be like the perfect setup?
I like the question. I really do. It's a very good way of envisioning the positive future. So very well done there. Not the right time to ask the question, but very good question to ask.
What do you mean, as in a perfect setup?
As in, like, what would you want from us to like basically call it successful?
I mean, if you can like set up the leads, just get my foot in the door.
Yeah,
That's just the hardest thing is one, finding the customers.
yeah, because you can close,
Yeah.
then, right?
Yeah.
You're good at that. Only reason I ask that is because like we basically offer two separate ways to do what we do. We can either send you the leads, and then you give you the contact information and give you everything that we got from them, and then you able to call them up, sell yourself. Because honestly, it's easier for you to sell yourself than it's for us to sell yourself. Or
Right.
I have a team of callers that will call leads up for you. I also call, and we set them appointments for you in your calendar.
So this is not really an appropriate time for you to start telling him about what you do. So you asked a very good question there. So you really should then say to him, okay, so why is that important to you, right? Because he just told you that what would be really important to him is if you can send him leads. And again, we both know the reason why it's important to him, but we want him to verbalize that. We want him to go deeper and deeper into it. Right now, you've sort of got into a good spot of the call, and now you've pulled yourself out again. Now you're going back to like very surface level things, like kind of pitching to them at a very top level as to what you guys do and what the options are and stuff like that. This thing that you're doing at the moment should come later on in the sales call, once you get past the actual pitch itself and you get into more of the intricacies and like nuances of what different pricing plans you have and options and stuff like that. Right now is not the right time to be doing it though.
But that's kind of like if you're seeing a lot of volume and you want some other help and you don't want to deal with that. But I mean, but people go with both sides. So in terms of that, what sounds like a
I mean, I can, if you just give me the phone number, that's all I need. I can make the call and get my foot in the door and get all that set up. That's no problem. That's like when I was working with Home Advisor. I probably landed probably 7 to 8 out of 10 of my jobs.
okay. Out of 7, 8, you said 7 or 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
All right, that's good, man. So you can close then for sure. All right, man. Everything sounds good. I think we could definitely help you at least double that for sure. What you're doing right now, at the minimum. Um, like I said, I'm gonna show you everything that we do. Basically, explain to you everything that we do. Before I do though, at the end, I'm gonna basically show you everything. Like I said, and then people tell me a few things. They say, "Yeah, let's get started." No, like I don't think it's gonna help. And I can take a no if your answer is no. Tell me. What I do want to avoid is the like I gotta think about it because honestly, a lot of people tell me that, and it's either it's a nice way of telling me no, or they're just they're just want me to chase them around, call them a bunch of times, and it wastes both of our time.
Well,
So just
I don't want to waste neither one of our time, you know. So
yeah,
just tell me this.
So just before I continue here, what you just said there sounds very salesy, particularly, I guess, to myself because I'm quite a seasoned salesperson. But even if you're to sell to somebody that's a little bit more sophisticated in terms of them having taken a lot of sales calls before, now it's very, very common for a prospect to get pitched and then genuinely need some time to think about it, okay? There are 4 different buying archetypes or buying personality types when it comes to behaviors. And two of those archetypes need time to think about it. It's just how they make decisions, unfortunately, right? Now, most high ticket sales coaches and online gurus and stuff like that will teach you how to objection handle your way out of it and things like that. And of course, that's always good to be able to objection handle your way out of think about an objection if it's basically a smokescreen, if it's fear-based, stuff like that. However, some people genuinely have that kind of decision-making process, and that is just how it works. So when you're about to preface your pitch by saying, hey, give me a solid yes or no, and don't think about it, if you're selling to a nurturer personality or a strategist personality type, both of them will immediately shut down, right? And you've already lost your prospect at that point. Now, given the niche that I think you're selling to, I think you're selling to trade services or something along those lines. Very unlikely you'd be selling to that personality type anyway. But I'm just giving you a heads up here that if the think about it objection comes up, you're better off actually objection handling it later on when it comes up, rather than trying to tell them you need to give me a solid yes or no. Because a lot of times that right there can cause friction with the prospect, and you might end up losing them just by saying that alone. So it's not worth saying. Stop doing that moving forward.
I mean, are you wanting money up front for this to get started?
yeah. I'm gonna explain everything that we do before that, and I'll go into that. But I will tell you right now, no. To answer that question. But I'm gonna explain everything that we do, basically how our system works, and then I'll get down to investment type of thing. All right.
Okay.
All right, man. So basically, what we do is, by the way, did you get a chance to look at I think you got a chance to look at all the pages, right? Everything I sent you.
Okay, so you need to work on your discovery, bro. This is a very average discovery, and I mean no offense or disrespect by that. You did some stuff very well there. So setting up the call in terms of positioning it and positioning yourself basically as the authority that's going to guide the call. So very well done there. And you asked some good questions throughout, but in general, the discovery had quite a weak structure. Now, because the discovery is weak, I can already assume that the pitch and also the objection handling, if and when that comes up, is not going to be too great either. That's absolutely fine. Still looks like you're quite young and you're still relatively new to the game, so that's cool. But yeah, that would be the main thing and the main piece of feedback here is before you ever move into a pitch, you need to make sure that you've nailed the discovery, because ultimately the discovery is going to be the foundation. If you can find out enough information and build up enough pain during the discovery, then the pitch is supposed to link back to the discovery, like all the pain that you found out. And then you shouldn't get too many objections come up at the end of the call, because at that point, you've got such a strong case as to why they should buy from you. Of course, objections will come up from time to time. I'm not saying that they never come up, but you'll get them significantly less if you run a very solid discovery. So right now, I think that, and I can tell that the call's probably 3/4 of the way through, so we're probably going to cut short here. But yeah, that's just some feedback for next time. Just make sure that you really, really nail the discovery.
Testimonials, all that.
Yeah.
All right, man. So have you ever seen one of our ads? I say you say you don't be on Facebook a lot, so no.
No, I don't. I get on Marketplace if I get on anything.
Yeah. All right. So how it's gonna work basically is we're gonna run your ads, and all of our ads are done for you, right? So you don't have to worry about making videos, anything like that, anything on your end. We're gonna make your ads for you. We run our ads through Facebook and Instagram,
Okay.
and we post these ads, people, and we only post them to people in your area. So you're in Colorado Springs, right? How far do you go out? 50-mile radius, 100-mile radius? How far do you go out?
I mean, I'd be willing to, 40-mile radius, because 40 miles is a good bit here, going through the mountains and stuff like that. So 40 miles is a long ways here.
40 miles? All right, 40 miles is good. So what we do is we don't give you anything outside that region. So say you tell us you only want to work 40 miles, 40-mile radius. So basically what we do is we pin your location and we only target people in a 40-mile radius of where you are. So you'd only get leads from that specific area. Also, what we can do is like say certain neighborhoods. I know you're new to the area and all, but say this area is richer. I get a lot of work from them. I want to target this neighborhood right here. So we have exclude zip codes. So say you don't want to target this area. All right, we take them out. We don't want to target them. Anybody in this zip code, we're not targeting them. We're not hitting them. It's not hitting their phone, and they're not seeing your ad. If you do want to target them, put it in, put the zip code in, bang, and we're targeting them because we know that they pay, right?
Right.
And then when they click on your ad, we go into this thing called qualifying your leads. So a lot of things you do with like stuff like Angie's, other marketing services, they're just like getting the leads, they fill out a form and they send it to you, right?
So this pitch is it's very much so about like what you do as opposed to like how you can help him, right? Ultimately, these prospects, they don't give a fuck really about like how you can get the result, like what the mechanism is here, right? Because right now you're talking about like geo-targeting through Facebook and Instagram and shit like that. That doesn't fucking matter, bro. Like he doesn't care. He ultimately just wants you to get him leads. So what you really should be doing is sharing your screen with some sort of presentation. One that I've seen work very well, I personally don't do this, but I do see a lot of SMMA guys do it and it works very well, is they have like a 3-pillar system, right? So you've got to be able to break your business down into the 3 main pillars that you focus on that helps the client get the result. And then you basically tailor your pitch based on all of the pain that they gave you during the discovery, right? But right now, because you didn't get much pain, you're giving him a very generic pitch, which is not relevant to his situation specifically. It's just a very general situation that you're pitching on, and it's relevant to his general circumstance, but not his personal circumstance. So hopefully that makes sense, but I would speak to maybe some of the guys in our Discord group and ask them if they can send you like a pitch deck of how they do it, because I've seen some good ones. I've done the 3-pillar thing in the past before and it works very well, so I highly recommend it.
Right.
What we do is basically we send them to a landing page that we build for you, and we qualify these leads. So think of it as like a multiple choice like test kind of, and we make them answer a couple questions like how fast do they need the project done? Like, do they want it ASAP? Do they want it 1 to 3 weeks from now? Like, when do they want it done? We make sure they're a homeowner. So are you a homeowner? Yes or no? The type of project they want. So like you say, you do a lot. Is it a remodel? Is it a deck? What type of project you want? The size of the project, which is square footage usually, just so you can get a grasp of everything. And then last, sometimes I like to ask for budget. It depends. Usually later in the process, because it makes it harder for you to sell if they already have a budget in their head and you have to talk to them in person. Because it's way easier to sell when you're in person. I know you understand that. And so we qualify these leads, and once they answer all these questions correctly, so we'll basically exclude certain answers. So like if they're not a homeowner, we automatically take them out of the process. And then once they qualify, that is when we send them to you. We also get their contact information.
Yeah, this is too wordy, bro. You've got to remember that this niche, again, I don't know the specific niche, but I would imagine that it's going to be something trades related. These guys are very rarely on technology, right? So when you're talking about landing pages and all the other stuff, they don't actually really necessarily know what it is because they're not tech savvy like we are. Also, you look to be quite young as well. So I'd imagine like you basically grew up with technology. This dude here that you're talking to, he's probably in his late 30s to mid 40s, like somewhere in that range. And that's a fucking old demographic in today's day and age, bro. So like he doesn't necessarily know exactly what you're talking about. So at this point, you need to be showing him something, in my opinion, right? sharing your screen, showing him an example landing page that you've created for a client before. And if you haven't got any clients yet, then just create like a demo page to show him conceptually what it looks like. It's a really good way to do it. Also, like I said, the other way to do it is by simply showing him some slides. But right now, you're just talking to him. And again, if we look at his body language, he's fidgety and he's looking away. So I don't even really know if he's actually paying full attention to you right now.
And then you can call him up and close the deal,
All right.
basically. Like I said, we also have the option for a calling team, so we'll appointment set for you, book them right into your calendar if that's something you want to do. It sounds like you would rather just have the leads and you be able to handle them yourself.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, that is exactly what we do. Do you have any questions?
No, not yet.
Cool. So asking the question, do you have any questions? That's the reason why you asked that was because you had nothing else to ask, basically. So it's not a bad thing to ask if they have questions, but the time you should be doing that is when you're dropping like lots of knowledge bombs on them and kind of getting them to visualize and see and sort of imagine what the situation would be like if they were actually using your system, right? Because at that point, they very likely will have questions. Right now, you just did a lot of talking at him. You didn't show him anything. I can almost guarantee none of this will stick in his head. And so, yeah, he probably doesn't have any questions because he can't remember what you just spoke about, right? So what I would typically do after I've done the pitch or even during the pitch, actually, I keep my pitches very conversational and I always preface that. So as soon as I share my screen, I say to the prospect, look, this isn't going to be a presentation. It's more of a conversation. So feel free to jump in and let me know if you have any questions as we go. And then as I'm talking, I keep it very conversational. And after I talk about, one or two main points, I'll stop and I'll say, okay, so like, how does this compare to what you're doing at the moment, right? Because you want them to create that disconnect in their head. They're obviously doing nothing and then you're showing them a system that's going to be really good for them. So you want them to say out loud how that's different. Or if they've worked with an agency before and they've been burnt, then you need to show them something they haven't seen before and ask them, how's this different from when you worked with the previous agency? Those types of questions, which actually open up conversations and open up dialogue, are very, very powerful. But to talk at the prospect the way you did here and then just stop and ask, hey, do you have any questions? Of course, he's not going to say that he has any questions because he's not interested.
But how do you feel about it though? Just the marketing system in general, how do you think it could plug right in?
Yeah, I mean, if everything works, then it works. I'm happy to roll with it.
Okay, so right now he's just saying yeah, because you asked him basically, are you happy with it? Do you like what you see? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, if it works, it works. I'm happy to roll with it. He only said that because he's trying to deflect, right? So what we always recommend you do is as soon as you get some sort of verbal buy-in from the prospect, just like you did right now, you want to double down on that and you want to say, okay, cool. So like what specifically about what I spoke about there resonated with you the most? What do you think will be the biggest lever or value driver for you, right? Throw it back on the prospect and get him to really verbalize what he liked about it and why he thinks it's going to work. Because right now, what he said to you was a bullshit answer just to deflect. And if you got him to double down on that and actually ask him why he said yes and what he actually liked, he wouldn't have an answer for you. He would just start making up bullshit. And yeah, I can just tell because I'm very seasoned in sales, but that's just a bit of feedback. Every time the prospect says, yes, I like this. Yes, I can see it working for me, whatever. Ask them why and ask them what specifically about the system did they like.
All right, man. So my question is like, where should we go from here then? How's it sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, man. So I guess all you want to hear is the price now, right?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, man. So like I said, nothing up front. What we do is we do require a $50 a day ad spend. That is just that doesn't go to us. Like I said, nothing up front in terms of service fee. But for Facebook, for us to run the ads on Facebook, target your profile, start running your ads, putting on people's phones in your radius, require $50 per day ad spend. We do require $50 a day because that's a split.
So the other thing is, bro, you didn't ask about timelines as well, like when he actually wants to get started, right? He sort of alluded to the fact that this next couple of weeks, early December, will be busy and then it's going to slow down again. So he might have like a timeline objection for you. It's going to be coming to the slow time of the year on the start of the new year. I don't know what the objection is that he's going to come up with because I haven't seen this recording yet, but that could be something that comes up because you didn't ask the question, right? And so right now, once you finish doing the pitch, you say, say, okay, so what do you want to do from here? Do you want to get started? He goes, yeah. Again, we don't really know when he wants to get started. Really, he just wants to hear like how much this is going to cost. That's really what his main agenda is right now.
What will get you work, and we know will get you a good amount of volume throughout the month. And then once you see the work coming in, like I said, we only charge for results. So it's just $25 per lead once the leads start coming in.
So you do charge then to get started. It's $50 a day.
Yeah, but it's just like it's an ad spend. It doesn't go to us. It goes for us to run your ads on Facebook. And
Right.
then once those leads start coming in, with $50, I would say you're gonna see between 150 to about 150 leads per month. So you're looking at probably 2 to 3 per day. Leads come in, you handle them. Obviously, we're sending you only qualified leads. Like I said, we filter out everything else, and then it's $25 per lead from there because we only charge for results.
Right. But I mean, see, so that's kind of, I mean, I don't know, because you said that it's no charge up front, but then now there's a $50 a day charge up front.
Yeah, but the $50 a day, it's only incremental, so it's not at one time, and the leads are coming in as soon as.
Okay, I can tell this prospect is just very, very unsophisticated in terms of like his knowledge of how this game works. So that's not on you as a salesperson. It's kind of just like he doesn't know what he doesn't know. I guess his main thing is you said that you weren't going to charge him up front, and now according to him, you're saying you're going to charge him $50 a day. So there was a communication error there, but for whatever reason now he's got like a bad taste in his mouth, and ultimately I don't think it's again, necessarily anything you did wrong, but also the fact that you didn't build up enough pain during the discovery and your pitch wasn't very personal to him. He's now coming up and like pulling strings as to like why he doesn't want to move ahead, right? Because your offer, in my opinion, and again, I'm a marketing agency owner, so I've got a different opinion. I think it's a pretty solid offer, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a bit of a no-brainer. If he's paying you $25 per qualified lead, you're paying nothing up front and you just pay for the ad spend. I think it's a pretty decent offer, but he doesn't see the value in that because you didn't help him understand that he's in a fucked up position right now with his business. And also your pitch didn't really tell him anything that he didn't already know, if that makes sense, because everything has kind of already gone over his head. So he doesn't retain any of the information. And because of that, now he's just trying to deflect again and say, well, you know, I don't like the fact that I need to pay $50 up front. Again, he's not interested, and that's clear. That was quite clear earlier on. But now he's going to start coming out with all sorts of bullshit objections just to get off the phone with you.
As soon as we launch, the leads are coming in right away. So like in terms of me, I run ads for myself, and it cost me about $700 before I even book one client. Obviously, that's different for you because it's easier for you to find a client. But once I book that job, then basically cancel everything that I spent already, and now I'm profiting. But yeah, again, it's only $50 per day, and then once the jobs start coming in, then we start charging per lead.
Right. I mean, yeah, but see, that's the thing though, because I asked you if there's a charge up front, you said no, but now there's a $50 charge up front, so you know you kind of wasted both of our time.
Yeah, I mean, there's no charge. Most people I talk to, they work with other marketing services, and they're getting.
So this is up to you now to kind of throw it back on him and just kind of get him to define, like, what do you mean by an upfront charge? Because an upfront charge to me is like him having to pay you X amount of dollars as a lump sum upfront. Now, $50 per day is not an upfront fee. It's a daily fee that you pay for ad spend. So you kind of want him to define what exactly he means by an upfront fee, and then say, okay, well, like, how exactly do you want this to work then? And again, just throw it back on him, because right now, in my opinion, I don't think you've communicated anything wrong. I think he is just severely misunderstood. First of all, how the fee structure works, and second of all, you haven't sold him on any value. So he's just trying to get off the call now, and he's throwing all sorts of bullshit out there.
Charge like $2,000 up front with no results. We only charge for results, and then the $50 per day is just to run your ads. That's just ad spend that goes to Facebook and not us. And then obviously you're getting jobs back in return as the days go on and you're signing jobs. A lot of people they start working with us, and like after a week they start getting those jobs come in, and then it's like, all right, $50 a day is nothing compared to I just signed a $5,000 deal.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if it was like you said, you know, if you was show that there's.
So you can see right now he's stuttering a fair bit. He's going, he's just making up shit, right? He can't himself, he can't actually think about what he's trying to say, which is why he's stuttering so much. Because again, he's just trying to get off the call, and I think he's just throwing this smoke screen up in front of you right now. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad behavior from the prospect, I guess, but sometimes you can't control these things.
There's actual, you know, the leads come in. And everything's legit. Like I said, I'd be happy to pay 10% on each job, but you know, again, you kind of wasted both of our times with the $50 a day.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you're trying to get 10% per job, like you're gonna have to pay ad spend to run these ads, because like we have to get these ads for you. We have to get these ads in the cloud for you somehow. So.
And that's a good thing to say, right? Like, you need him to understand that irrespective of what the commercial structure is, he's going to have to pay ad spend. That's just part of it. So just going forward, if you ever bump into any of these sort of scenarios again, throw it back on the prospect very respectfully and just say, okay, well, like, how exactly did you want this to work? And see if they can actually tell you how they imagine it could work. Maybe there might be another solution out there, which I'm not aware of, but I don't think that there is. But it's always interesting just to hear in case they do have another idea. Again, he's quite unsophisticated when it comes to his knowledge of this sort of stuff. So there's always just going to be that factor, which unfortunately you have to deal with.
Anybody you talk to, you're gonna have to pay ad spend, not to them. That's what I was talking about. There's no fee for us up front because we only charge for results. Again, we're not touching any of that $50 per day. So for us, it's just pay on results, and then from there. So you're not gonna be able to anyone you talk to, you're not gonna be able to hit those type of things without paying ad spend. That's just to run your ads to get them into the air and start bringing the jobs to you.
All right. Well, I appreciate it though, bud. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right.
Cool. Yep. So overall, dude, that was not a super great call, just because I guess it didn't end too greatly because it was quite abrupt. Just take the feedback that I've given you there, though. I think that is some good feedback, and you should improve quite significantly from there moving forward. In terms of next steps with this guy, I personally wouldn't bother following up with him. It's not going to be worth your time. I will get this all launched onto YouTube, and we'll speak soon on Discord.